Hi guys, I'm Charlie, a Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a Top 5 Wednesday, and the topic for this week is Favourite Villains. Top 5 Wednesday is hosted by Thoughts on Tomes. I will leave her channel as well as the Goodreads group for topics down below. I had quite a hard time coming up with villains because I noticed I mostly don't pay any attention, at least not as much attention as I pay to my heroes in books, but I had a look around and I came up with some people who may not be considered villains entirely. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Adelina from the Young Elite series by Marie Lu. Adelina can be considered a villain. At the start of the first book she's not a villain yet, but throughout this trilogy she is descending into villainy, so she obviously can be considered a villain, and I think she's my favourite out of this entire list. I love Adelina. I think she's one of my favourite characters of this year, and she is... I just love her. I love how dark she is, how dark her thoughts are, how she gets wrapped up in everybody else's fear and how it empowers her, and just how different she is from every other YA main character that is out there. The second villain I'm going to name is actually two villains in one because they are from the same book, and that is Cerberus and Kelly from Gemina. There is a shit ton of villains in the second book in the Illuminate Files trilogy by Amie, Kaufman and Kristoff, but especially Cerberus, who is the captain of this whole team of villains, and Kelly, who is one of his soldiers. I love them. I love the dimension they had. I love how dark and evil Cerberus was. Well, like, we don't know anything about these villains, but I love how Cerberus basically didn't care about anything or anyone. He just wanted to get the job done. But I also loved to see his interactions with the people he commanded. And I loved Kelly specifically because she was in love with someone from her team, and it really hurt her what happened to this person. And she went out and basically went berserk about it, and I love her. I love how she had a relationship, how she had friends, and how she cared for the other people. Like, they were not just villains, they had friendships and relationships. Then I'm going to mention The Grey Man from the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I have only read the first 3 books in the series. I haven't read the 4th and final book yet, but I loved the Grey Man when he first appeared in this story. Like, he was so mysterious. He's literally called the Grey Man. We don't know anything about him. We just know what his goal is and what he is planning on doing. We don't know who the person is that is giving him his job, who is giving him his assignment, and we don't know who he is. All we know is that he is supposed to be the villain and he's going to do evil things. But I loved how the Grey Man developed throughout this series and how he became a person with a personality and a whole another dimension to him. The fourth one is Cordova from the standalone thriller Night film by Marisha Pessl. Cordova is considered the villain throughout this whole book. We know quite a lot about him. There are some articles in this about him. We know what Scott McGrath, who's the main character in this book, knows about him. We don't know anything personal about Cordova because we don't see him in this book. So we don't know what he's thinking, what he's doing, what is going on with him for real. We only know the speculation around him, and I thought that was so interesting because he had this air of mysteriousness about him. Like, Cordova is looking into... like, Scott is looking into Cordova and what he has been doing for the past couple of years and what his intentions are and what has been going on at his estate. But we don't know anything for real. It is all speculation. Nothing is confirmed. And the last of this top 5 is Nick Bateman from American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. I've done a review on this book, which I will link down below. It has been a while ago. It was one of the first videos I remember uploading on this channel, and I wasn't sure what I was thinking about this book right after I finished it, but I have come to the conclusion that I thought this was a masterpiece. I loved this. This was amazing in my opinion. Even though it annoyed me sometimes and it grated on my nerves, I still think this was incredible. Nick Bateman in this book is a serial killer. You know he's a serial killer from the beginning, and you're basically waiting in this book for him to commit the first murder. And when he does, You think it is a nightmare, you think it's not really happening, but it is. It is brutal and agonizing and disgusting. But I couldn't stop reading, even though I was horrified by this book. He is not likable. He's not supposed to be likable. You are not going to feel any kind of sympathetic feeling towards him. He isn't deserving of your sympathies. He is just evil through and through, and I love that. I love reading this book because it was so different from anything I had ever read before. And for this video I want to have a special mention of a book I haven't finished yet, but I'm currently reading, and I will probably have finished by the time this video goes up. That is The Nameless Interviewer from Sleeping Giants. I'm currently this far in, so I'm not even halfway through. I'm more than halfway through, a little bit. But I don't know if The Nameless Interviewer can be considered a villain. Like, this isn't really a novel. It's kind of formatted like Gemina. It's formatted through interviews and reports on experiments and stuff like that. And I am not really connecting to the character so far, but the fact that the Nameless Interviewer, you don't know his intentions, we don't know who he is, we slowly get to know some things about him, but not a whole lot. We don't know what he's trying to do, what his ultimate goal is in reassembling this robot, and what he's planning to do with this robot when it is fully reassembled. And he has basically access through all means. He has full permission of the President of the United States in this book. He has access to all resources. He can make people do anything he wants. And I don't know if it even is a he, but I am thinking these people can see who this person is, like they're talking to him or her in real life. But they just know how this person looks. They don't know anything else about this person. And I think it's so interesting. Like, I don't know if it will be... This is the first book in a series, and I don't know if it will be revealed later on in this book or later on in this series. But I am so excited to find out more about this, because I hope it will only get better, because I'm so interested in this villain. It could be a villain. I don't really like him, but I love to dislike him. So these were kind of my 6 favorite villains. I would love to know what your favorite villains are. Do you agree with any of these, or do you disagree with any of these? I would love to know. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.